minutes of political talk. Alex Jones Radio Network.
Okay, folks, we are transmitting live on the AM and FM dial, satellite, global shortwave WWCR, the internet at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, and streaming live video over PrisonPlanet.tv. You've seen him in some of my films, camera guy, webmaster, writer, jack of all trades, really great guy. Short notice here, Iranian television, Press TV, their international service, has myself on, a London Guardian reporter today. So that's coming up at about 3:07 Central for those that can. For those that are out there and want to record that and put it up on YouTube. So Aaron Dykes is going to be sitting in coming up a little bit later in the show with Richard C. Cook. He's written for the Washington Post, other major publications, been a consultant for NASA, been a White House analyst, historian, and we really enjoy having him on. I wanted to briefly tell you why Keith Olbermann was kicked off. It was because of statements like the one we're about to play that's about a minute long. If you want to watch the full video, there's like an 8-minute video saying basically Iran attacked us on 9/11. The terrorists thought they'd win, but we're going to get Al-Qaeda and Iran. And basically it's like this warmongering propaganda that is so ham-fisted, it sounds like something out of The Running Man or some dystopic 1984 novel or movie. And then Tom Brokaw is talking about how great, the attack on Al-Qaeda is and how the endless wars, we're going to win the fight against Al-Qaeda. And they cut to Olbermann and he says this.
Tom, Chuck, great thanks. Tom Brokaw and Chuck Todd. We'll be back with you later on in the broadcast. I'm sorry, it's necessary to say this, and I wanted to separate myself from the others on the air about this. If at this late date any television network had of its own accord showed that much videotape and that much graphic videotape of 9/11, and I speak as somebody who lost a few friends there, we would be rightly eviscerated at all quarters, perhaps by the Republican Party itself, for exploiting the memories of the dead, and perhaps even for trying to evoke that pain again. If you reacted to that videotape the way I did, I apologize. It is a subject of great pain for many of us still, and was probably not appropriate to be shown. We'll continue in a moment.
And you can go watch the video that was inappropriate. They played scary music under it and it kept showing Iranians and Iranian flags and basically saying they did 9/11. Just incredible propaganda. Now, this is up on Infowars.net. I want to ask Richard C. Cook about this first before we get into Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. Before we do that, but now Ralph Nader's come out, and he has a huge following, that's what's important, and said that 9/11 could be an inside job. There should be an official investigation. He said that in a press conference. So things are getting big here. The 9/11 truth movement is just exploding. A, what do you think this means to the New World Order crew? And B, extrapolating out, how do you see this developing in the future? Richard C. Cook.
Well, I think it's really interesting and a very, very good thing to see Ralph Nader finally talking about real issues. He's been going on about the same things he's been talking about for years with this latest presidential bid, corporate corruption and all the stuff we know all about. But now if he's coming out for 9/11 truth, I also saw that there was a press conference. It was either today or yesterday at the National Press Club in Washington, where Ron Paul, Cynthia McKinney, Ralph Nader, and one or two other people were coming out for a full-scale investigation of the Federal Reserve. So here again, Ralph Nader, I know people who worked with him has been very reluctant to take on the real big ones, and the Federal Reserve is a big one. Clearly 9/11 is a big one. So I think this really points to some very important progress being made in our country. And in addition, there is an interview published today on Global Research where a good friend of mine, Mike Whitney, who's a writer out of Washington State, has an interview there with Dr. Michael Hudson, who's talking about a new political party that will kind of consolidate all of the fragmented third parties in this country and try to put together a real movement to begin to address the real issues and taking our country back. So
now, you notice that Bob Barr, exactly, that was this morning, you notice Bob Barr snubbed that meeting, and I have to say, we've had him on the show before, but I don't really trust Bob Barr.
Well, I think the libertarians, to my mind, are playing a little bit of a role like Ross Perot played back in '92, kind of a teaser, to pull away attention from what's going on. I know I had a lot of respect for Perot, and I hoped that he would have followed through and done what he had set out to do.
But the Bushes and the Clintons...
Same thing happening with Barr.
Yeah, well, they did threaten to kill his family, so that's why he backed off. And then that was almost a non-event after they threatened to go after Ross Perot's daughter and wife. He just came out and said, yeah, they threatened to kill my family. And the news said, oh, whatever. He's just crazy. And Rush Limbaugh played, they're coming to take me away. Ha ha, ho, hee. Just like JFK. So it's to the funny farm, that Rush Limbaugh song.
Right. Well, I think right now enough people are starting to come together that maybe we will see a real political movement coming out of all of this.
Well, there's no doubt that Congress has a 9% approval rating. The system can't sell its lies anymore. And it is that crisis of confidence. I mean, they can have their spooks on radio, TV, and the web say 9/11 truth's dead. That's like saying iPods are dead. When they're at their absolute hottest. That's like saying electricity is dead when there's more electricity being generated than ever. It's like saying the sun is dead. But it works on some people. Oh, I guess our movement's over. It is only getting bigger, and skepticism is only increasing exponentially. What do you see the establishment doing to try to counter that? Just more iron-fisted tactics?
Well, right now, let me just mention, I have a new analysis coming out on the '08 election. It's called Election '08, Crime, Family, Food Fight, or Threat to Mankind. This is out, will be out in a few days. It's a special report that I'm putting out in cooperation with my partner, Susan Bosky, and if I could, Alex, let me give you the way people can contact us for this. It's an email address. It's the one we've used before on your show, economicsanity@gmail.org. And it looks to me as though they're staging this almost tragic comedy of the '08 election between two parties who really are the ones who've controlled public opinion for so long, but there's a divergence, I think, between the traditional establishment elite, which has come out of the banking systems for so long, which is trying to keep things afloat. It's the soft landing that we've heard about. This whole Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac thing is to try a soft landing where we just kind of slide into a very long-term economic decline, recession, depression, kind of the way we've gone with a little bit of tinkering around the edges that the Democrats want to do to prop up what is left of the welfare state without really ever changing anything, just kind of a decline and fading away of the United States, of our democracy and all that goes with it, versus these really radical neocons who have captured the Republican Party and are running their candidate, John McCain, and now Sarah Palin is kind of a front person for all of this, who seem to want to take us into a world war against Russia. That's our choice as I see it, and I go into detail on this in this special report that I'm just getting ready to release.
Folks can also visit your website. Give that out.
Yeah, the website is www.richardccook.com, and people can write to me through that. The special report is coming out, and it's available by writing to economicsanity@gmail.com.
Now, that's why I wanted to get you on later in the second part when Aaron's here with you, Mr. Cook. But right now, I want to get into the two big mortgage giants, because I had Dr. Roberts on and some others yesterday, and they were getting into the fact that this could make the entire Treasury insolvent, taking on trillions and trillions of dollars. and we're talking about hundreds of trillions with what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac had actually leveraged, bundling these debts and then selling